The pen hovered over the signature line. February 10th, 1996. Tommy Morrison sat in his manager Bill Caton's office in Las Vegas, staring at the contract that would change his life. 3 fights, $38 million. The path to Mike Tyson. Everything he had worked for since he was 14 years old, fighting in tough man contests in Oklahoma bars, was about to become real. All he had to do was sign. Tommy looked at Caton, at the lawyer, at his promoter Tony Holden. "You sure this is real?" Tommy asked. "As real as it gets," Caton said. "Don King wants you. The whole world wants to see you fight Tyson. This is your moment, kid." Tommy picked up the pen. His hand was steady. No nerves. He had beaten George Foreman. He had starred in Rocky V. He was the Duke, the great white hope, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed heavyweight who could actually fight, who had 42 knockouts in 48 wins, 27 years old, prime of his life, top of the world. He signed the first page, then the second, then the third. The lawyer started gathering the documents. "Congratulations, Tommy. You just became a very rich man." Tommy leaned back in his chair, grinned. "When do we announce?" "Tomorrow night, after the Weathers fight. We will have a press conference. Make it official. Start building the hype for Tyson. This is going to be the biggest fight since Ali and Foreman. Maybe bigger." Tommy stood up, shook hands with everyone in the room. His phone rang. He glanced at it, saw it was the Nevada Athletic Commission. "Weird," he answered. "Mr. Morrison, this is Mark Ratner from the Nevada Athletic Commission. We need you to come to our office immediately." "Now? I got a fight tomorrow night. This cannot wait." "What is this about?" "We will explain when you arrive. Please come now." The line went dead. Tommy looked at Holden. "That was strange. The commission wants to see me right now." Holden's face went pale. "Did you take the blood test they requested?" "Yeah, a couple days ago. Standard pre-fight physical." "Why?" Holden did not answer. He just grabbed his coat. "We need to go. Now." They drove to the commission office in silence. Tommy felt something wrong in his gut, that fighter's instinct that warns you when you are about to get hit. But he could not figure out what punch was coming. At the commission office, 3 men were waiting. Mark Ratner, the executive director. A doctor Tommy did not recognize. And a lawyer. Nobody was smiling. "Mr. Morrison, please sit down." Tommy sat. Holden stood behind him. "There is no easy way to say this," Ratner began. "Your blood test came back. You tested positive for HIV." The room stopped. Time stopped. Tommy's brain could not process the words. "What?" "Your HIV test is positive. We are suspending your boxing license effective immediately. You cannot fight tomorrow night. You cannot fight in Nevada. You cannot fight anywhere. That is not possible. I feel fine. I am in the best shape of my life. I just signed a contract for $38 million. I am fighting Tyson." The doctor leaned forward. "Mr. Morrison, I understand this is shocking, but the test is definitive. You have the virus that causes AIDS. You need to see a specialist immediately and begin treatment." Tommy stood up so fast his chair fell over. "This is a mistake. Test me again. Right now. We can do that. But Mr. Morrison, false positives are extremely rare. The likelihood that this is an error is less than 1%. I do not care about likelihood. Test me again." They drew blood. Tommy sat in that office for 2 hours waiting for results. Holden made phone calls. The lawyer made phone calls. The doctor made phone calls. Tommy just sat there staring at the wall, thinking about the contract he had signed 3 hours ago, thinking about Tyson, thinking about $38 million, thinking about his whole life vanishing. The doctor came back. His face said everything. "I am sorry. The second test confirms the first. You are HIV positive." Tommy called his mother from the parking lot. His hands were shaking so badly he could barely dial. "Mom!" "Come home," she said immediately. "Just come home, baby." He flew to Oklahoma that night, left Las Vegas, left the contract, left the fight, left everything. By the time the sun came up on February 11th, the news was everywhere. Tommy Morrison, heavyweight contender, HIV positive, career over. The boxing world exploded. This was not Magic Johnson playing basketball. This was a contact sport. This was blood and sweat and cuts. This was a fighter who could bleed on his opponents. The Nevada Athletic Commission held an emergency meeting. Other state commissions followed. Within 48 hours, Tommy Morrison was banned from boxing in every state in America. The contract with Don King was voided. The $38 million disappeared. The fight with Mike Tyson was canceled. Everything Tommy had signed for, everything he had worked toward, gone in less than 24 hours. Don King did not even call. Sylvester Stallone did not call. The friends who had partied with him in Kansas City clubs, who had shared women and cocaine and wild nights, they did not call either. Tommy was alone. On February 15, 1996, Tommy held a press conference. He stood at a podium, cameras everywhere, and said the words the world needed to hear. "This disease does not discriminate. It can jump up and bite you no matter where you are. And it does not matter what color you are. If me standing here and confronting this problem can get just one person to take a more responsible attitude toward sex, then I scored my biggest knockout ever." It was a good message, an important message. For about a month, Tommy became an advocate. Magic Johnson reached out to him, tried to help, tried to explain how to live with HIV, how to take the medications, how to survive. Tommy listened for exactly 4 weeks. Then he stopped taking the pills, stopped seeing doctors, started believing people who told him the tests were wrong, that HIV was not real, that he was fine. And for the next 17 years, Tommy Morrison lived in denial. He married multiple women. He had unprotected sex. He used drugs. He got arrested for driving drunk, for assault, for weapons charges. He spent time in prison. He claimed the HIV diagnosis was a conspiracy, that the tests were fake, that doctors were lying. In 2006, he claimed new tests showed he was HIV negative. He tried to fight again. Some states let him. West Virginia licensed him. Japan let him fight. He won a few fights against nobodies, got paid a few $100s instead of millions. But his body was breaking down. His mind was going. The virus he refused to acknowledge was destroying him from inside. By 2011, Tommy was married to his 5th wife, Tricia. He told reporters that HIV did not exist at all, that nobody had HIV, that the whole disease was made up to control people. Tricia went on record saying they had unprotected sex, that she was not worried, that Tommy was fine. But Tommy was not fine. In 2013, Tommy Morrison was bedridden in a Nebraska hospital. His skin was yellow. His liver was failing. He could not speak. He was on a ventilator, being kept alive by machines. His mother told reporters he had full-blown AIDS, that he was in the final stages, that it was too late. Tricia insisted it was not HIV-related, that it was complications from a surgery, that the diagnosis had always been wrong. On September 1st, 2013, Tommy Morrison died. He was 44 years old. The autopsy showed his body ravaged by disease. Whether it was HIV or something else, the medical community debated. His widow still fights to clear his name, still insists the 1996 test was a false positive. But here is what nobody debates. On February 10, 1996, Tommy Morrison signed a contract for $38 million and a fight with Mike Tyson. He was on top of the world. 24 hours later, everything was gone. His career, his money, his future, his life as he knew it, all destroyed by a phone call. And for the next 17 years, instead of fighting HIV with medicine and treatment like Magic Johnson did, Tommy fought reality itself. He refused to accept what was happening to him, and that denial killed him. Some people say Tommy Morrison never had HIV, that the tests were wrong, that he died of something else. Maybe they are right. But even if they are, it does not change the tragedy. A 27-year-old fighter at the peak of his powers, holding a contract that would make him rich and famous, lost everything in the time it takes to answer a phone. Whether the diagnosis was right or wrong, the result was the same. Tommy Morrison's life ended on February 10, 1996. His body just took 17 more years to figure it out. If this story made you think about how fast everything can change, how one phone call can destroy a life, hit that subscribe button. We are telling the stories nobody else tells. The moments when everything falls apart. The tragedies that happen in 24 hours. Drop a comment. Do you think Tommy really had HIV, or was it a false positive? Does it even matter when the damage was already done? Turn on notifications. We are bringing you the untold stories of fighters who lost everything. Not in the ring, but outside it. Remember Tommy Morrison, January 2nd, 1969 to September 1st, 2013. The Duke, the Great White Hope, the fighter who beat George Foreman and lost to a phone call.